Welcome to Build Your Dream Network. I'm Kelly Hoey. I see people struggling to connect effectively all the time, so I created this podcast to help you master your network building needs. Whether you're seeking a new job, looking for a promotion, or scaling your business, you need a network, and you're in the right place to get the advice you need. And don't worry, my advice is real, it's actionable and practical because it's the advice I follow and is what has transformed my career from the traditional to the unexpected. So let's get started. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the 3 assets you have in life. You have your relationships, you have your time, and you have your reputation. And what we're going to talk about today are reputation killers. The things you do and don't do, which reduce the amount of social capital and time your network, otherwise known as your relationships, will invest in you. I'm going to focus on 2 of the biggest reputation killers: the follow-up and the follow-through. Get these courtesies right, and you'll stand head and shoulders above just about everyone else out there who is networking and hustling for the same opportunities as you. Let's start with the follow-up, as it is a particular beef of mine and a number of the experts I interviewed in my book, by the way. When I'm asked what is the number 1 networking mistake, my answer is the failure to follow up. A follow-up is the polite email or note you send when someone has made an introduction or arranged an informational interview. But it is not just that. The "thanks for arranging the coffee with Joe," or whatever message you fire up, is simply the beginning, the very tip of the follow-up iceberg, you could say. It's expected that you would express gratitude when someone uses their social capital on your behalf to arrange a valuable introduction. It's common courtesy and common sense. Failure to send thanks is one and done when it comes to your network being there when you want to reach out for something in the future. What you may not be aware of is circling back after the actual meeting has transpired, following up to say that the meeting took place or whatever, just using a meeting as an example, as it's a familiar one for most of us. That is the real follow-up I'm talking about. Here's why. People who are mentors or connectors in your network like to know if the introduction or referral they made was useful. Did you get what you need? Was the other person responsive? Did you land the job or get the client? Listen, inquiring minds want to know. The person who made the referral, or whatever, wants to know these things. They want to know these things because it's how they build their social capital or affirm their connector status. They don't want to hear outcomes third hand. When you fail to follow up, your social capital, that is, your reputation, is diminished or completely wiped out depending on the amount of social capital expended to make the call or arrange the meeting in the first place. Sure, you can rebuild your social capital over time, over far more time than it takes to fire off a quick follow-up message after the completion of a meeting. So do it. Why don't other people do this? I have no clue, but they don't, which, as I noted earlier, puts you at a great competitive advantage. With the follow-up dealt with, and yes, if you need more, it is addressed in the chapter on networking fails in my book, let's turn to the follow-through. With the follow-up dealt with, let's turn to the follow-through. But if you need more on the follow-up, go to my book. It's in the chapter on networking fails. A recent conversation with a friend brought the follow-through reputation killer to my attention. My friend was bemoaning a mutual connection who frequently offers up assistance but never follows through. You may have someone in your network who does this. Let's hope it's not you. You know the type. It's the person who, when they hear of the challenge you're facing, offers up specific, unsolicited help. The type of person who says, "What can I do to help you?" listens to your answer before offering up a real solution once you've told them what you need. The type of person who does all this, then nothing. Zippo, nada, no follow through, leaving you right back where you started. Stranded. Stranded with no answer in the middle of your networking challenge. I think of this person as the equivalent of a waitress in a diner who shows up at your table, takes your order, then proceeds to toss your order in the bin rather than handing it over to the cook. Now, I've never encountered a waitress or waiter like this, but it seemed like a good analogy here. Offer to help, then don't. Do this once or twice and people will think, oh, she's just busy, or must have just slipped her mind. But word gets around when you consistently fail to follow through. And when that happens, your reputation is zapped. Now that I have put some fear in your networking hearts, here's what I would do if I was you right now. Scan over your emails and tie up any loose ends. Have you left any thank yous unattended? Any introductions unacknowledged? Take care of it now. Now is better than not at all. Jump over to your calendar and take a look at recent meetings you've had. Was there anyone who was responsible for making a key conversation possible? If yes, you know what to do. Reach out. Tell them the meeting took place and what action items are outstanding. Why? Because your reputation depends on it. And perhaps more importantly, that person, the linchpin for the meeting happening in the first place, could have other suggestions or ideas for you. That's all for this week, because I guess you have some follow-up and follow-through to do, and I'll see you back here next week. Thank you for listening to Build Your Dream Network. Stay connected and don't miss a networking insight by subscribing to the podcast. And while you're there, I'd love you to rate and review the show too. Are you looking for more networking advice? Pick up a copy of my book, Build Your Dream Network. It's your guide to modern networking. I'd like to hear your networking questions, tips, and ideas. Connect with me via my website, jkellyhoey.co. You'll find links to all my social media accounts, plus a contact form to email me your questions. I'm Kelly Hoey, and I'll be back again next week to tackle your networking challenges.